Hi, welcome to Polyphonic Press. I'm Jeremy Boyd, and today I'm going to be looking at the album Loaded by the Velvet Underground. Here we go. So Loaded is the fourth album from the Velvet Underground, and it's actually the final album to feature founding members Lou Reed and Stirling Morrison. Between the recording of the album and its release, Lou Reed had left the band due to creative differences with the band's management and the rest of the members of the group. With Loaded, they wanted to put out something that was more commercially appealing and would have a hit single and be played on the radio. This really frustrated Lou Reed, and he ended up leaving the band to pursue a solo career. Loaded featured some of the Velvet Underground's best known songs, including Sweet Jane and Rock and Roll, and although they went for a bit more of a commercial sort of approach to recording and writing this album, I don't think they really lost what made them special as a band in the first place. The songs are really well planned out and meticulous, but they still have thought-provoking lyrics and really interesting things to say. It's just a little more streamlined. The production on this album is somewhat lo-fi. It sounds like they just kind of set up in the studio and set up the microphones and recorded with very few overdubs. Although this album came out in 1970, the production really sounds like it was recorded in 1965. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but when I found out this album actually came out in 1970, I was actually a bit surprised. I think the reason this album sounds the way it does is because they were just kind of quickly recording it. It was only recorded in a few months, and it really shows. If you listen to other music that came out in the same year, it sounds a lot fuller, a lot more present, and it sounds like they spent a lot more time on it. I think the defining song on this album is probably Sweet Jane. It's probably the most well-known song that the Velvet Underground ever put out. Although it wasn't the only song from this album that got radio play, it was the only single that was released from the album. When Loaded was originally released, it was edited down to 3 minutes and 18 seconds, and when they recorded it, it clocked in at about 4 minutes and 9 seconds. The bridge was cut out so it could be played on radio, and at that time radio had a lot of restrictions on time of songs and what could be played at certain times of day and things like that. I like the full version myself. I think the bridge really works to break the song up a little bit so it's not just repeating the same chord pattern over and over again. That really makes the song complete, in my opinion. I think my favorite song on this album is probably the closing track, Oh Sweet Nothin'. It's a pretty long song, clocking in at about 7.5 minutes, and has this descending, repeating chord pattern. Although it's pretty long and repetitive, I really don't find myself getting bored with this song when I hear it. And I think a lot of that has to do with the groove that's created with the drums. They're kind of playing a little bit behind the beat, so it sounds very relaxed and easy, and it's just a relaxing, easy song to listen to. Another thing I really like about this song is the intricate lead guitar work. It really showcases Stirling Morrison as a very capable and really great lead guitar player. The Velvet Underground are one of the most influential bands in the alternative rock world, and this is probably one of the most important alternative rock albums to come out of that scene. If you're a fan of alternative bands from the 80s and 90s, you want to see where they got their influence from, Loaded is a great place to start. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this album in the comments. If you'd like to suggest a classic album for me to look at, please leave that in the comments as well. Be sure to subscribe so you know when we post new videos, and you can check us out on Twitter and Facebook, as well as the website, polyphonicpress.com. All those links are in the description, and that's about it. Take it easy.